Hello and welcome to Gamers of All Master of None, where we are trying to tackle our War of Crafts again. And today we are going to pick this, the RoKR electric guitar. It is a wooden model. We have done one semi-recently with the piano, so hopefully this shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Opening the plastic wrapped box, we find our plastic wrapped materials, which include a bag of 4 metal wires and a plastic cord, 3 large sheets of wood, a smaller light sheet of wood, and 2 dark sheets of wood. I'm not a particular fan of the lighter wood, so I am going to stain it, but first I need to consult what color where would be best for this model. I feel like the arm should be black though, or maybe that part black as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe just the side being black, like the outside here and the neck. So after a quick me saying what I want and someone agreeing in the background, I just sat down to have a look, marking down the parts where I wanted it to be stained a different color. I used a photo on the box as a reference, trying to find the part in the instruction and then trying to find the part in the actual wood itself. This step is important because I want to do the staining first while it is still on the panel, so that I don't have to do it separately when it is all cut out and it's going to be difficult. As they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So naturally the next step is the staining process, and this won't be a video of me handling liquid if we won't spill anything. So here is just some nice mahogany wood stain just all over my cutting mat. I don't know whether that was the mic or whether I just sound like that when I am in distress.
How we doing, Mr.?
I spill.
Spill what?
The dye.
Oh yeah. I see the
I picked up most of it using a pipette and soaked up the rest using the towel that I've been using to stain the wood. I don't actually know if there is more to staining wood than what I'm doing right now. I'm pretty sure there is, but it's worked for me so far and the results weren't too bad. With that, we move on to build the base of the model. We start off with essentially a name tag with a cross piece and then a flat face. Then we build a stand for the guitar with an A-frame and 2 arms, which took a little bit of persuading to get into. After that, we're going to build a hexagonal stage, and part of what we're going to be doing throughout the model is sanding. This is going to clean up the edge and we're going to make assembly smoother as well, because they're not all going to be a perfect fit as they come off the laser cutter. As you will see, it's not too bad when you do it on a big piece like this, but as the pieces get smaller later on, they will get harder and harder. We then use some fence-like pieces to give it some height and volume, and unfortunately when I'm putting these together, one of them snapped, so we use some wood glue to try and glue it back together. It was a little bit fiddly to get it in, but we managed, and with the lid, the stage is now complete and we move on to the next stage. And that is the amp. We start off with the sides of the amp, which is actually just one piece consisting of all 4 sides, and it has little slots cut out for it so that it bends easily. We start off by putting in the handle of the amp, so again it's another piece with slots cut out to flex. And then we have the front face of the amp, which also consists of the speaker mesh as well. Now with the front frame there comes a lot of dials, which you would normally have for volume, for reverb, for a lot of other settings. The problem with this is all of the individual knobs are individual pieces and they are very small. So small in fact that I can't just press it out using my fingers, I have to use my tweezers. It is also so small, you can see me using a tweezer to hold the piece in place while I'm sanding it to make sure it actually fits, because when you're laser cutting a model like this, you have to have some piece that is still connected to the main piece of wood, which interferes with the fit that you intended with other pieces, which is why sanding is required for this model. After painstakingly doing all of the buttons, I then add an extra layer on the bottom on the front side, thread a pass a thread the cable through the hole, which will then attach to the guitar later, which is locked in place just using a piece on the back. And now we finally attach that side piece that we had out for ages, add the simple back panel piece, and then start wrapping it around the front and back, and bend that around the front piece. If you're wondering why I'm showing off to the side, it was because that I thought that camera was recording when it actually wasn't. There is one extra back piece that we attach, which we have stained before we close off the sides of the amp on the bottom, and then adding some feet so that it can attach to the stage. And now we are finally on to the main body of the build, which is the guitar itself. We start with the neck, which is made by combining 3 pieces to give it curvature and structure, and then starting to build the body up from there. The small piece I just attached constitutes to some parts on the internal, which will be used for later, and the larger piece is going to be for the external face of the guitar, and also the knobs on the guitar face itself. After that came the fretboard, and the fingerboard itself is one piece, but then the individual frets are individual pieces. So I have to do about 20 of these, and each of these have to look relatively good because they are visible on the outside. That, in combination with the need to make sure that it fits properly, means that there is quite a lot of sanding going on, which probably constitutes to one of the least appealing parts of this build. Adding the fingerboard and fret combo onto the neck itself was easy enough, and then we start adding some of the electronics bits on the face of a guitar, such as the pickups. There are 3 in total on this build, and it's just a singular piece. The input jack, as well as the tremolo, which is the stick that pops out on the side where you can modulate the tone up and down. And once all of those little bits are done, we then build the bridge, which then starts the next annoying part of the build. The way that the bridge works in this model of the guitar is that there are 6 individual pins, allowing for each of the individual wires to be threaded through a hole into the underside of the guitar face, which is then wound up in a spool. This removes a lot of the excess, ready for the next stage. Before we finish working with the wires though, we first connect the amp to the guitar through the input jack, which is also locked in place on the underside of the guitar as well. You might think it is time now to tighten up the strings, but actually what we're going to do is to complete the body of the guitar. So we have a couple of pieces for the side, which consists of the strips which has slots cut out for bending, and a back which has a few extra couple shapes as well. This model has provided quite a few of these bending pieces just in case you break them as you're trying to assemble it, but luckily I haven't had that issue. Instead of being a uniform thickness, there is a semi-triangular piece, which in real life would kind of help the guitar sit better on the leg. This guitar design is a little bit confusing because an electric guitar wouldn't be this thick, but that feature only really exists in electric guitars. With all of that done, we can now finally move on to dealing with all of these annoying little strings that has been in our way for a while. I first spent some time trying to make sure that all the strings are separated and they sit nicely within the bridge pin. And then for each of the strings, I am going to wrap them around the tuning post. For each of these, I'm going to wrap them around the capstan or the string post. It's not too bad of a job, except for you have to make sure that the strings, when you're rounding them, don't overlap and cross. Not that it really matters too much because this is a model and not a functional guitar. And because it's not functional, none of these are to the right tightness, which gives you the tone. Some of them are a little bit loose because the spring posts are square pegs, so you have to make sure that it is tight enough that the strings won't come loose, but also loose enough that it can still be inserted into the headstock without bending the guitar too much and breaking the entire model. Once all 6 of the strings are wound up and the sound post is in place, the final thing we have to do is to put in the tuning pegs because they are separate to the sound post in this model. And with that, all we need to do now is to put all of the different parts of the model together so the guitar stand and the app goes on the stage and the guitar just rests to the guitar stand. I did miss out the name tag because I couldn't attach it for some reason, but let's have a look at the final results. In the end, it doesn't look too bad. I'm glad I stained the light color woods, so this is a little bit more closer to the aesthetic I would like. It is a little bit annoying with the little fiddly pins and knobs when you're trying to sand and assemble, but all in all, it turned out okay, I think. That's it for this video then. If you like, check out some of my other builds, and I'll see you on the next video of Makers of 4 Master of None. Bye!